Am I the a-hole stories? Am I the a-hole for not letting my brother-in-law see my girls after he called CPS on me? I, female 33, lost my husband in an accident and he passed away shortly after he arrived at the hospital. We have 2 girls who are 9 and 5 and it's been very devastating and very difficult to be taking care of them while going through these tough times. My mom would help a lot and I'm so thankful for that. My in-laws have been keeping to themselves, but my brother-in-law would visit often to see the girls. He has always wanted kids on his own, but hasn't been able to because his wife has medical issues. He treats my girls well, and has been generous, but treats me poorly and makes comments and criticizes my parenting often. He implied he wanted to be their guardian, but I told him no. He started demanding I bring the girls over to my in-laws' house, and would get upset when I tell him I have work. He'd claim I'm clearly not taking care of the girls and not fit to be a single parent. We got into a huge argument, after I told him I no longer will be welcoming him into my house because of his behavior, and he then reported me to CPS, after I refused to let him into my house. He claimed that I'm not taking good care of my girls' needs / refusing to let them see their grandparents / being busy with work, and other things I don't know about. I had to deal with CPS once then after they did a surprise visit, and thank goodness it went well, although I was told to deal with some issues that are normal in every family. I told my in-laws about what my brother-in-law did, but didn't do anything. His wife was the one who told me eventually. It's been over a month now. My in-laws are calling to tell me that I should let my Bill see the girls, after I told them that only them see my girls. I refused to let him see the girls after what he did, and the disrespect he shown, but my in-laws are pressuring me saying these are their granddaughters, and I have no right to act like this just out of spite. Edit to say that the issues I'm dealing with are trying to balance my working hours with the time I spend with the girls. I have my mom either come over or take them to her house, so I could pick them up after I get off work. Another thing is therapy and my girls are currently in therapy. I'm trying to take it slow, but it's just so overwhelming and then to have to deal with my brother-in-law's behavior is just a lot for me and there isn't anything more I want than to spend time with my girls, but I have to work since no one is willing to help with anything. I'm not the person who feels comfortable asking for help, so I do all I can. My brother-in-law says he wants to see the girls, because it's been a while since he saw them and he misses them a lot, but I don't want him around after what he did. I can't even look at him after this. He made my grief worse and I won't be able to forgive him soon. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. He called CPS on you. Don't listen to anyone, seriously. If he was willing to do something so serious over something so small, I wouldn't trust him near my kids. Who knows what he will tell them / manipulate them. And for them to say she's acting out of spite? Dude, if you try to break my ribs with a baseball bat and I stop hanging out with you as a result, it's not spite that's motivating me, it's sheer concern for my own safety. This is not the last time they'll try pulling this BS. There is a fundamental lack of respect happening here. OP should get ready to request a restraining order. Bill wants custody and he clearly is willing to do whatever despicable thing it takes. He will definitely escalate. The issue I'm struggling with is that my in-laws told me to bring the girls, because they want to see them but I don't want him present, and they don't seem to understand how hurt I am and won't respect my wish of not wanting him around. Then they say that I'm keeping the girls from seeing their grandparents, and I can't guarantee that he won't be there when I take them over to my in-laws. Then your in-laws can come to you. I wouldn't take them there, you can't trust any of them now. Not the a-hole. The boy who cries wolf who implies he wants to be your kid's guardian? He has no rights to see your kids. CPS is there to protect children, not to waste time as his tool. See a lawyer. Have a plan for the next time they call CPS on you. If you want to see these grieving yet unsupportive in-laws, have a couple of witnesses with you, you might need them. Consider visits in a neutral setting. Your house is your house. Keep it safe. Do not let the kids anywhere near the bill. Only let them see the parents-in-law when supervised by yourself and trustworthy witnesses. Document any and all communication from Bill harassing you and demanding to see them. This will be important to have as evidence if he calls CPS again or tries to become their guardian. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my grandma by wrong name, until she gets my name right? This has going on since forever, so I decided to do something. I'm 16 mil, half Mexican from my dad's side and my mom's side is Scottish. Not gonna lie, most of my mom's family is high-key racist and has been problems sometimes growing up. My grandma on my mom's side never liked my dad, and was happy after they divorced when I was 7. My name's Emiliano, and my grandma always complained how hard she tried to change my parents' minds, and it's a shame I got stuck with it. I'm actually proud of it. My dad told me about the revolutionary I was named after in their history. But literally, my entire life my grandma refuses to say it. She says it's too many syllables. I got a cousin named Alexandria and they say the whole name, and always came up with her own names. She says Leo, or once tried to get everyone to call me Elliot as a nickname for a while. Obvious my mom's family was for it, but my dad refused it because it's not my name. It's always the same thing when I see them. She'll call me Leo or whatever. Even when I correct her, she says it's not a big deal and keeps calling wrong name. I told my mom I don't like it, but she always says I'm just not gonna change her mind and no point in fighting it. So, I decided if she's not going to want to call me by my actual name, I'm not going to call her grandma or say her right name. It's stupid, I know, but it's bothering me more that she doesn't care, and all my other cousins she says their name's fine, no nicknames. Her name is Susan, so I decided to call her Sandy. To be honest, I was scared to say it, but that look on her face was worth it, laughing my butt off. It wasn't surprise Pikachu face, but it was close. She said that is not how I address her, and it's grandma. I told her nah, I'm ma, call her Sandy from now on, until she says my actual name. It got awkward. My mom was serious and my grandma got super red in the face. She started ranting about me being a freaking disrespectful child, and this is all my dad influencing me again. My mom told me I need to apologize immediately, but I don't know what gave me the balls to not do it. We ended up leaving their house early, and my mom didn't talk to me until we got home. She says what I did was out of line and I don't disrespect my elders ever. She wants me to apologize and I'm grounded until I do. Haven't talked to my dad yet about this since it just happened, but I wanted to ask if it was being an a-hole or was it okay for this situation to insult my grandmother? Now for the top comments. Adults and the elderly don't like it when they're given a dose of their own medicine. Not the a-hole. Emiliano is not a difficult name to pronounce and your grandmother's not respecting you when she's always mispronouncing it, so why should you respect her? It's a two-way street, and you don't owe her respect just because she's your grandmother. Good on you for sticking up for yourself and calling attention to her BS. Like it literally ain't a hard name to pronounce. None of my friends speak Spanish and say it no problem. As someone who is much closer to your grandma in age than you, I am super proud of you. She has been disrespecting you as a person your whole life by refusing to use your given name. You have shown her how it feels. I don't know how this is going to play out, but kudos to you. If your parents try to discipline you, ask them how you should have approached it. You have asked repeatedly to be called Emiliano and she has ignored your wishes. What else should you have done? If she calls you by your preferred name, you will call her by hers. It's fair. You have limited tools at your disposal. I think you have been very creative in approaching a difficult situation. Why not call her abuela or abuelita? Sort of malicious compliance-like? Not the a-hole by the way, but I get you don't want to upset your mom. I like this idea. It's not a bad idea, but it misses the mark when it says you don't want to upset your mom. Pardon me for saying this, but if what she is doing is true, then she is worse than the abuela here. She's enabling nastiness and racism toward her child to save face, and teaching an awful lesson to her son. A lesson that says you should just accept abuses from racist or nasty people rather than be encouraged civil disobedience. I'd have a very serious attempt to talk with my mom, and if she didn't get it, she probably wouldn't see me much once I turned 18. What would Emiliano Zapata do? Not the a-hole. Respect is earned and names are important to identity. Que viva la raza. Ha, good point. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for demanding my parents attend therapy before I help their daughter and her sick kid, suspecting they'd refuse? Amy, 32 female, and I, 32 female, met in high school and were inseparable. She had no family, so she would come to my home and my parents loved her. We were like sisters. Until college graduation, when my boyfriend of 2 years revealed he'd been cheating with Amy since day one and sent proof. It was a dark time, so I went to the UK to stay with family and I got therapy. I cut off everyone who knew about Amy and ex. I started my career, met my husband, I healed and flourished in the UK. Husband was offered a transfer with a big pay bump close-ish to my hometown. I found a better job there, we moved. Time flies, my parents came over to chat. They kept in contact with Amy, as she's a daughter to them. She married ex, had a girl they love as a granddaughter, and calls my brother uncle. Amy found out ex is a serial cheater and left him, emotionally. She's a stay-at-home mom with nothing to her name. Divorces and moves cost money she doesn't have, all their money goes towards their sick kid. I knew why they came to talk, and I was trembling and vomited and they left quickly. I had never felt so betrayed. I resumed therapy. Weeks passed before I see them again. I naively thought it was to apologize. Nope, it's the girl. She lives in a humid condo with mold growing, ex is a chain smoker, her health is poor. They had photos, doctor's notes, a mold inspector's report. Teachers have noticed the girl sick, she stinks, she's being bullied and has no friends, it's a problem. A new home, new school, new support system would do wonders for them. I have the extra room in top school district, an extra car, weird things, have connections to help Amy. I said those documents need to go to social services or CPS if it's that bad, not me, but Amy's not a bad mom, just poor. We used to be so close. They pleaded to let them stay 1 to 2 months with me, if only for girls' health. I said I would facilitate this life transition, if my parents agreed to attend 4 family therapy sessions with me. They know that I suspected they would refuse, said I'm being vindictive and spiteful. You'd think I was poisoning the girl myself. I was direct, no contact, no negotiations with Amy until my parents agree and sign. Days later I get a letter from Amy about regret, pain, sorrow, and utter desperation, as she fails as a mother and watches her child slowly die before her. It was absolutely heartbreaking. I shredded it and sent it to my parents. My terms were clear. I'm not budging, neither are they. I'm not asking Amy for therapy because the girl isn't my burden and they're never coming into my home regardless. This is between my parents and I, and if they want help from me on Amy's behalf, they're going to have to make efforts, just as I have done, to even be able to have this conversation and consider giving Amy financial aid. This is a hill I'm prepared to die on. So are they, it seems? So, am I the a-hole for setting conditions my parents will refuse before accepting to help Amy and her sickly kid? Edit. Okay, so I will be calling CPS and sending the justifications on Monday. I don't know if they'll need it, but maybe it'll speed things up? I guess I have to be prepared for my parents and maybe my brother cutting me off over it. This won't be without consequence. Edit 2. My brother loves the child but not Amy. His wife loathes her on principle, she was also cheated on. My parents live in a 1-bedroom apartment, dad only works part-time so they're limited in ways they can help. Edit 3. Ex lost his job in May, has been sitting at home smoking, drinking and gaming since collecting unemployment. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Amy and her child are not your responsibility. Even if you were biologically related, you would still have no obligation to do anything about their situation. I feel so sorry that you were the one betrayed, but your parents have built a life with your betrayer. They suck so badly. Amy should have applied for housing and any other benefits she qualifies for. The mold thing is something she needs to report to housing because that place is not fit to live in. Not the a-hole. Call CPS anonymously. They can connect Amy with resources to help her. Amy messed up and you don't owe her anything. You don't owe your parents anything either. But, that little girl is going to be a casualty of the war on the hill you all are willing to die on. You don't need to bring them into your life or your home, and while the little girl isn't your responsibility, all calling CPS would do is get the ball rolling for her to get to a better place and better circumstances. Yes, I found out CPS offers quite a bit of help to single parents thanks to Redditors. It's clear that CPS should be alerted regardless of my help. Your parents act like yours and Amy's places have been switched. That she is their daughter and you're the stranger that lived with them, as she had no one else. I know your intention at all, with the idea of family therapy, but it's not worth it. You have accomplished so much after going through hell. They aren't your problem. Not your parents. Not Amy or her child. It may seem harsh, but you cook first for you. That's it. Not the a-hole. OP moved away. Amy stayed with the parents. The girls did switch place for the parents. It's royally messed up. OP is not the a-hole. Not even remotely. And that's it for this video guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. Turn the notification on to get updated on my latest posts. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.